Brett Hull was born in Belleville, Canada on the 9th of August 1964. His father was none other than former NHL legend Bobby Hull, who was known as the Golden Jet, and his mother Joanne was an American professional figure skater. Hull had a lot of athletic influence from his parents, and as a result of his father playing for the Chicago Blackhawks, he spent his early life in Illinois, where he had his first experience of organized hockey at the age of 4. While he watched his father play in Chicago, Hull and his brothers practiced skating with the Blackhawks until Bobby finally signed with the Winnipeg Jets, causing Hull and his siblings to move to Canada. While Hull grew up, he wasn't exactly seen as a professional NHL prospect. He was considered pudgy, fun-loving, and music-crazed, and he lost interest in hockey and didn't look like he would make it as a professional. He was first eligible for the NHL draft in 1982, but made it to the draft in 1984. He was ignored in 1982 while he played in the Juvenile League, and unfortunately no team showed any interest. In the 1982-83 season, he joined the Penticton Knights in the second tier of the British Columbia Junior Hockey League, and it would be there that he began working on his skating and shooting. That season marked the beginning of a brilliant future for the hockey star. He scored 48 goals in 50 games, and yet again, no team showed any interest in signing him at the 1983 entry draft. Still, though, they thought of him as a spoiled son of a rich Hall of Famer. But all of that would change in the following season when Hull had one of the best seasons in BCHJL history. He scored 105 goals in 56 games, creating a scoring record of 188 points, a record that still stands today. At that point in time, the NHL had to take notice. In the 1984 draft entry, he was selected by the Calgary Flames in the 6th round. However, before he even began playing, he accepted a scholarship at the University of Minnesota, where he played for Minnesota-Duluth. Once again, he proved himself to be a star in the making, setting records in just 2 seasons that he spent there. He scored 32 goals in his rookie season, the most by any rookie ever, and won the school's Rookie of the Year, and in his second season he recorded 52 goals with 7 hat tricks and 13 multiple-goal games. He held the record for the most goals in a single playoff game, where he had 4 goals, and nevertheless his journey had only begun. After his sophomore season, Hull signed for the Calgary Flames, but despite this incredible performance in the British Columbia Junior Hockey League and at the University of Minnesota-Duluth, the Flames didn't take him seriously. He joined the team in the playoffs and played in only 2 games during their 5-game loss against Montreal. And after that, he was assigned to the club's American Hockey League affiliate, the Moncton Golden Flames. As was becoming a normal performance from Hull, he scored 50 goals that season to tie the rookie record and won the Dudley Red Garrett Memorial Award as the Rookie of the Year and became part of the first All-Star team. As a result, he got a call back from the Calgary Flames, where he then scored his debut goal in the regular season. This time, he earned a spot on the team during the 87-88 season, but his season would not be as good as he had hoped. Now that he was playing in the big leagues, he only scored 26 goals and 50 points. This drop in performance would affect his career as he was finally traded to the St. Louis Blues in 1988. Now that Hull had found himself on a new team, he needed to put up the best performance, one that no one had ever witnessed before. In his first season with the Blues, he scored 41 goals, which is fairly good for a new player, but instead of getting a pat on the back for such a performance, he was told to work on his skating and conditioning. Apparently, his skating was making him a bit of a liability, and he handled his defensive responsibilities quite poorly. As a result, he returned the next season in much better shape and ready to put out a performance like had never been seen before. To make things even better, the Blues signed a new center by the name of Adam Oates, whose passing skills made him one of Hull's best teammates ever. And within the next 3 years, Hull was averaging 70 goals per season, making a total of 228 goals combined in all 3 seasons together. That would be the second highest 3-season total, falling behind only Wayne Gretzky himself. In the 1990 and 91 season, Hull recorded 86 goals in a single season to become third in the most goals scored in a single season. He came in only behind the Great One, who has the most goals and the second most goals in a season. And finally, he led the league in scoring during those remarkable 3 seasons with the Blues, being named the first All-Star team in each of those years. In 1990, he won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy as the league's most sportsmanlike player, and then the following year he won the Hart Memorial Trophy and the Lester B. Pearson Award as the league's MVP, selected by the league and his fellow players. After 3 seasons, Adam Oates then left the Blues, which left a big drop in Hull's goal scoring. However, despite losing the best passer and teammate, Hull had managed to score 50 or more goals in a 4th and 5th consecutive season. After 6 seasons with the St. Louis Blues, he was still on top of his game, but that would all change when the team had a sudden switch in management. It's true that the Blues had struggled to win the playoffs, and Hull was criticized for not being able to win a Stanley Cup final, despite his insane performances. However, the new manager's changes to the team were drastic and led to a drop in Hull's performance and satisfaction with the club. He would go on to score just over 40 goals over 2 seasons before putting up 27 goals in his last season with the Blues. After that, he made one of the biggest decisions of his career, leaving the club as a free agent. Hull would then move on to the Dallas Stars as a free agent in 1998, and despite suffering a groin injury for most of the season, he managed to get to 1,000 career points with the Stars, later scoring his 600th career goal. These were significant achievements for the Hall of Famer, as he and his father Bobby Hull became the first father-son duo to reach that achievement. By the end of the 1999 season, Hull had scored 32 goals, but more importantly, he and the Stars made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, where Hull scored one of the most controversial and significant goals of his career. After collecting the rebound in front of the Buffalo net, he put the puck past the goalkeeper to give the Dallas Stars the lead in the 6th game of the finals, where they were already up 3-2. The Buffalo Sabres immediately protested the goal, as it seemed to be against the rules. However, several replays would prove that the goal counted. The Dallas Stars, as well as Brett Hull, had won their first ever Stanley Cup final as a result. The following season would see a rather disappointing performance from Hull. He only scored 24 goals in 79 games, but during the playoffs his offensive production greatly improved. He led the league in postseason scoring, leading the Stars to another Stanley Cup final, where they sadly lost in a 6-game series to the New Jersey Devils. After the 2001 season, Hull signed a 2-year contract with the Detroit Red Wings. The team was already full of stars, and Hull was the last piece they needed to make a championship run. The Red Wings would go on to earn the President's Trophy as the NHL's top team, and once again, Hull led the league in scoring during the postseason, with 10 goals as they made their way to their 4th final appearance in 8 years. In Game 6 of the opening round against Vancouver, Hull scored a hat trick and another 2 goals against his former team, the St. Louis Blues, and 3 goals in the Western Conference Finals. He then went on to register his 100th playoff goal in the Stanley Cup Finals that same postseason against the Carolina Hurricanes, where he won his 2nd championship. The following season, at the age of 38, Hull racked up 37 goals and 76 points, becoming the 6th player in NHL history to score 700 points. He eventually accepted a 1-year extension to his contract, where he recorded another 25 goals in the 2003-04 season. Even in his late 30s, Brett Hull still had plenty to give. The Stars wanted to sign him back to the team for the 2004-05 season, but he insisted on signing a 2-year, $4.5 million deal with the Phoenix Coyotes. The first season of his new contract would be wiped out, as that season was canceled. And when play resumed the following season, Hull's father Bobby asked the team to unretire his number 9 jersey so that his son could wear it. Hull would wear that number jersey for 5 games, recording just 1 assist, and his season was cut short by a decision to retire. Now that he had ended his career as one of the best to ever play in the NHL, he finished as a 9-time NHL All-Star with 2 championships, 1,391 points, and 741 goals, making him the 5th all-time in NHL history. He remains one of the best players in the St. Louis Blues history books, being their top goal scorer with 527 goals and 936 points, and also had one of the best championship runs in their history, recording 86 goals and 45 assists, an MVP award, and a championship. In 2006, the Blues would retire Hull's number 16 jersey, as everyone had expected, and in 2008 he was inducted into the United States Hockey Hall of Fame. The following year, he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and in 2017, he was named one of the top 100 greatest players in all of NHL history. Hull had moved from almost losing interest in the game at a young age to becoming one of its best players and then having a deep love for the game in the end. After retirement, he became the special assistant to the president of the Dallas Stars and would later be promoted to co-general manager of the club. Today, Brett Hull is an executive vice president of the St. Louis Blues, where he expresses his passion and love for the club and the game of ice hockey as a whole. Have you ever witnessed Brett Hull in action on the ice? Be sure to let us know down in the comments below about the incredible things that he did in his career. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another great video like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.